Hi, this is Steve. Welcome back to Scale Model Kit Review. In this video, I'll be building Ghostbusters Ecto-1. I am on issue 4, stage 10. Head on over to Eaglemoss and subscribe to this build today. Currently, they are making changes to their website to make it more interactive for you. So head over there and check that out. So let's get started on stage 10. Welcome back. Let's look at the instructions for assembling stage 10. And with stage 10 we get all the components for the electrical system, the generator and all that for the engine. The assembly instructions have 5 steps total for the generator and oil filter. So let me get these parts out and we will get started. Here's the parts, and you can see lots of small parts inside there, some screws. I'll take these out, we'll get a closer look. Here's a close-up of the parts. We have a generator bracket support, generator front bracket, and both of those are metal. We have the generator end, generator body, generator inner, generator plugs, there's 3 of them, generator pulley inner, generator pulley outer, generator rear bracket, water pump housing, oil filter head, oil filter base. We have a bunch of screws, BP screws, DP screws, EP screws, GP screws, and FM screws. Step 1, we install the generator front bracket. Now these 2 brackets here simply go together just like that. Okay. And before I do that, they tell us to put an FM screw, M meaning metal, and like I was saying, this bracket right here is actually metal. You want to be careful you don't bend it or anything. But I'm going to go ahead and lubricate it with some Vaseline. Definitely makes it easier if you do that. We'll line it up. Might be easy just to go through the first bracket first and then get it down on the second one, holding it and going right in. Okay. I'm going to leave it a little loose so it's got room to move. Perfect. And perfect. Continuing with step 1, we install this bracket now on the front of the engine. So we'll look to see how this mounts up on here. And it looks like there's 2 holes that it goes up against, just like that. I'm going to go ahead and lubricate those 2 holes. We're going to be putting EP screws into those. Just wipe off any excess. Even though it's going into plastic, I still want to lubricate it. It makes it a little easier. It's not going to hurt nothing. And I'll line it up on the top one first. Going into the plastic pretty well. And the next one, we'll line that up also. also. Just a little patience. And there we go. These I'll tighten down all the way. Alrighty. So these metal brackets are very soft metal. You want to be careful you don't bend them up or anything. It could really mess up how your generator is presented on the side of the engine there. But that looks really great. You can see it real good there on the side cam. Alright. Let's go to the next step. We've gathered all the parts we need for the next step. We take our generator itself. We put this end cap on there, and that tab right there faces the top. This is the top where your connectors are. And there is a detent on that side and on this side. So put it in there till I fill it. Kind of grab there. And then we insert this in on the other end. Same thing, it has a detent that it goes into. Turn it. Perfect there. And I'll just put that down. And we put our generator bracket, our pulley, onto this. And there's no detent on that at all. We use a longer DP screw for this. Great. Looks good. Now we install the 3 plugs. That's these plugs right here. Put the first one in. Got one. And press it down here. Perfect. That's how those plugs look. Great. Next we installed the rear generator bracket. And it looks like this long end here will get mounted to it. And there's a flat detent on the back that this goes right up against. So I'm going to put the EP screw right through the bracket first. Line that up here. Get the screw started. Great. Just make sure it's sitting up against that detent there. And screw it down. Perfect. The generator mounts to the bracket now. We use an FM screw on the top bracket, and I'll put that through the generator first, just like I did before. It just makes it easier. And then screw that in to the bracket. Being careful I don't bend the bracket. So it's just a little loose now, and then it mounts to the top of the exhaust manifold on the back side here. And let me turn this so you can see that on the side camera. And we put an EP screw in back there just to get everything settled down. And a little tricky, just a little patience going on there. And got it started. So I'm going to tighten that down all the way. The back bracket here. Perfect. Now that's how you want your generator to look. Looks pretty straight up against the engine. Also like that. That looks great. So be very careful with that generator bracket on top because it is made of metal and you can bend it up. So then we'll go ahead and tighten down the generator now. And the other one. Looks great. And that's the generator installed. I'll be right back. Step 4, we install the water pump housing, and that's done with 3 GP screws. So if you look at the water pump housing, there's a notch on the top, and that needs to go towards the back of the engine. And the notch on the bottom of the water pump, that faces forward. So we'll line that up with your holes. And we'll put the first screw in. It's not tight. I want to get all 3 in. It looks like we just put 2 more in front. And we leave one out. There's a hole in the back. We don't put a screw into that yet. I have a feeling something mounts to that. And one more. Now I'll tighten all 3 down. Perfect. Step 5, we assemble the oil filter. We'll put this end cap on first, and then we'll slide this end piece in on the back side. And it only goes in one way. Kind of feeds in there just like that. And then we have to put a DP screw into it. It's a bit of a longer screw to hold everything together. Great. That's what that looks like. Now we got to mount this on top of the engine, and that's where we're going to mount on that hole that we didn't put a screw in on the water pump. So that's going to go just like that, and it's going to line up with the hole right there on the front. We'll line that up to the water pump. Put a BP screw into it. The instructions don't show you actually put, yeah they do. They do show you putting a BP screw into that. And I'm not going to make it real tight because eventually it's going to get mounted on the outside here, just like that. It won't hurt to tighten it down just a little more. Good. And that completes stage 10. Had a lot of fun with this one. Putting the generator on the side of the engine. Looks fantastic. Oil filter. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. And please subscribe to my channel if you don't already subscribe. And if you haven't done so already, head over to Eaglemoss and subscribe to this today. It's going to be a fantastic build. And you can see this engine's just highly detailed. We put a lot of stuff on it. Notice that I did take the air cleaner off so we can make it easier for us to install everything, especially the ignition wiring, which will be coming up late, a little bit later. So with that, happy modeling everybody, and take care.